I was just chilling and I realized it's been over a year now, almost 2 years. Okay, over a year now. And I can tell you guys this story. So in my lifetime, I have been proposed to 4 times, marriage, all before the age of 30. And I'm talking proposal with a ring. Those are the ones I'm counting. I'm not talking the ones for, oh, I'll marry you. I'm talking a man actually getting me a ring and asking me, will you marry me? And the last time this happened was in 2024. I was dating this guy. I think I've written about him, but I will put out one more article about him. I was dating this guy, an Italian man. Very romantic, very amazing. Actually, the relationship was okay. Let me tell you the story so that you can judge for yourself what the relationship was like. At this time, I was just coming off the previous year, I was just coming up of employment and I was trying to figure out unemployment, how to make money and survive off on my own without depending on anyone else. Trying to create multiple streams of income so that I could be very comfortable financially. And was I lonely or was I bored? I had actually just broken up with this guy that I thought I was madly in love with. And we keep doing this on and off and on thing. And this time we had broken up. So I was going through my contact list looking for who I'm going to call because I was bored and I saw this man's name. Let's call him Alejandro. So I saw Alejandro's name and I'm like, oh, I haven't spoken to him in so many years, like 4-5 years. Maybe I should give him a call and see how he's doing. And I called him and immediately he picked up and he was so excited. Roberto, how are you, my darling? I missed you. And he planned a date for the next day. The reason he was able to plan a date that fast, first of all, I told you guys I think I was lonely and I wanted to go and eat somewhere nice, of course. And I wanted the company. I mean, I had missed being romanced. I wasn't thinking of anything other than that at this point, but I was like, it's okay. I wasn't thinking anything beyond going on a nice date and coming back home and maybe reconnecting and then that's it. So that night for the restaurant, I found that he had closed out the whole restaurant so that we could have a romantic dinner, just the two of us. And he decorated the whole place with so many flowers. It was really, hizi vitu watu hufanyiwa kwa movies, na Instagram. It was really, really actually romantic and beautiful. And he's a chef by profession and the restaurant is actually his. So this is why he was able to do this. And he made all the meals himself. It was a full course meal, amazing food, amazing experience. There was a band to play music for us. And he fed me and we drank wine and it was just really, really super romantic. And from that day on, he just told me, you're my girlfriend. I want you to be my girlfriend. Kasema sawa, this was not a stranger. This was someone I actually knew. So why not? And we officially started dating. The relationship was amazing because he was really romantic and he was taking care of me. But I was coming from a relationship with someone who would ignore me for days. Like he wouldn't talk to me. He'd go a whole day without speaking with me, sometimes weeks, sometimes months. And now it's like I had conditioned myself to think this is what relationships are. I'm supposed to be there just waiting and my lover is supposed to be living his life completely forgetting that I exist. So I wasn't used to someone being present, someone needing communication. I had now become the one who was avoidant in this relationship because my lover, Alejandro, was wondering why I was so against being together all the time and spending time all the time. He would pick me up at work to go with him to breakfast. And then he'd pick me up for lunch again. And then we'd have dinner together every day. And most times I was spending the night at his house. So sometimes we'd just wake up and go to breakfast and then I'd go to work. And after a while, he started being cross about me working. He was like, so we can spend much more time together, I think you should just stop working as much and I'm going to give you the money. In the beginning, it was nice because he was giving me the money. He was giving me the money to stay out of work. I mean, I could afford to be with him all day and he would give me the money. He was taking care of everything. He was paying for everything, my rent, my bills. And I was spending all my time at his house anyway, so I didn't even need to shop in my house or to do anything. I just used to go to my house to pick my stuff, change stuff and come back. He actually did shopping for everything at my house. He bought me bags at his house. He bought me bags, clothes, shoes, all the oils that I use, all the perfumes that I use, so that I didn't have an excuse to want to go to my place. In the beginning, this was beautiful because it felt like I was in love and this man was adoring me. He was actually everything that I've ever wanted in a man. He was everything. When I describe the man who's my type, he absolutely was loving, reassuring, emotionally present, sweet, thoughtful, considerate, patient, forgiving. We laughed so much together. We always told stories. At some point, I feel like my life revolved around his, because now I was always waiting for him to tell us the plan for what the day was. He'd tell me, oh, I have a meeting with so and so. I have to go here. I have to do this. But after that, can we please do this? So I found myself avoiding my family and friends, not intentionally, but I'd go weeks without speaking with them or seeing them. I love to host a lot at my house, but I was going so long without even my friends coming over or anyone seeing me for that matter. And in this moment, I started to realize that it's like, can I call it isolation? You know, people usually think that when these things are happening, they're usually coming from violence. It's like he takes you and he closes you up in a basement. No, this man was actually providing the perfect life for me, but I had no time. Even going to the salon was a problem because I had to find time between when I wasn't having lunch with him or when I wasn't having afternoon coffee with him, that I could rush to get my hair done and come back. I couldn't even really hang out with my friends that much because he always wanted to be around me. Like, we did everything together, even shopping, even going to the mall. We absolutely had nothing. I absolutely had nothing else I was doing. His friends became my friends. His life became my life. And you see, in this moment, especially as a woman, you're thinking this is what a relationship is supposed to be like. Especially if you've never been in a very healthy relationship. You're thinking this is what it is. I'm supposed to be very submissive and this is my man now. I'm supposed to settle and build a home and start a life. But I was also getting so tired because it was performative. Hanging around him all the time means I had to look dolled up all the time. And that's not my personality. I'm very mostly introverted. I like to spend a lot of time at home by myself doing my own things. It was starting to affect me because I was starting to be very exhausted. And then I wasn't showing up even for my personal project. I was canceling a lot of work, meaning I was losing a lot of money in the process. And even though I was getting compensated, it just didn't feel right. Something within me did not feel right. Remember, this whole time, this man is very romantic. Even in the shower, like, he used to wash me, he used to carry me from the shower to the bed, he used to oil my body, apply my skin all the perfumes, he used to buy me anything I want. Oh, we used to spend so much time. Talk about the perfect boyfriend. We used to watch all our shows together. We used to eat. He fed me all the time. I don't remember ever once cooking, making anything, even boiling water in a relationship with him. And even when I was at my house, he would send me food directly from the restaurant. So I really never had to struggle about anything. He completely took care of me, and he never once seemed exhausted or annoyed or like I was an inconvenience. It actually made him happy to show up for me. And I think this is the first time I was experiencing like a true provider man who did not need or require anything from me. Well, I have been dating men who provide, but you see, kuna vitu zingine zenye unajifanyanga kama msichana. This moment, there's nothing I did for myself. And if he could carry me everywhere I had to go, I'm sure he would. If he could hire someone to just carry me so I didn't have to walk, he absolutely would. He absolutely took care of me. So one time, we were just chilling. We had just had a really beautiful dinner. And even when we're at home, just chilling in the house, he would still make me like full meal courses all the way from appetizers to dessert. He loved to spoil me and to feed me. And I don't know, if you're a woman, you know how how important this is. Because my last boyfriend, I asked him to buy for me cake, and he asked me, how many times do I have to tell you that I'm broke? He was so rude to me just because he couldn't buy me the cake. So to avoid such situations, I always try to date people who do not have fears around money, because it will start to trickle down into my belief system of money. And also, I don't like the way it makes people rude when they're struggling with their own stuff, because I also do be going through stuff, but I don't get rude. So Alejandro, of course, there were red flags here and there. Like, as much as emotionally available he was, he also would really throw tantrums. He had a lot of issues with people talking to me, looking at me, saying hi to me. And this is quite inevitable because a lot of people know my face. He would get super jealous and he wouldn't really fight me, but he'd do this. He'd throw moody tantrums, like expecting me to assure him and reassure him over and over again over strangers that I did not know. So this was very strange to me, considering Alejandro was a man in his 50s. He threw the worst emotional tantrums. We used to get over them really quickly, but I'd noticed they were starting to become more frequent. The more he took me outside, the more people noticed me, and the more annoyed he'd get that I was getting so much attention. He just wanted me to be his and for him only. One time we were just chilling, and then he said, Bobby, we've been dating for a while now. You've been my girlfriend, and I think I'm ready to take this to the next step. I want to ask you to marry me. To be honest, you're supposed to feel, I think when you're with a lover and you're in love with them, yes, I had started falling in love with him. And you're in love with them, you start to feel like this would be the right thing for them to do, like this is what you want. But for some reason, it didn't feel right. It felt like I wasn't sure that I wanted to be with Alejandro as a married woman, because I was already kind of feeling very smothered. And at this point, I had started resuming work, but I felt like I had to hide to go to work. Or I had to go behind his back to devise ways to make money for myself, because I started to think about, okay, what if he just decides he's done with me, like how men usually are? What am I going to do? After months out of the workforce, after months of snubbing like business advances, it wasn't going to make sense. So I had started going back to work. I couldn't even talk to my parents about this marriage proposal. I couldn't even talk to my friends. And this is how I knew that my answer was going to be no. And the next day when we met, he asked me to meet him for lunch. Guess where we met at? We met at the jewelers to look at rings. We looked at the rings and there were so many, many beautiful rings, different stones. And I definitely saw the ring of my dreams. It was way out of his budget, but he said he could definitely upgrade me in a couple of years. So I took a ring that was much less, still as expensive, but a bit much less by like $1,000. And that's when I started to realize that this proposal marriage thing was actually real. He paid and they were going to have the ring resized for me and customized to my liking. And then he was going to propose. Within the same week, he tells me, Bobby, since there's nothing we're doing in Nairobi, I want us to start looking at property. And I want us to move he's from Sicily. So I want us to move either to Sicily or to move to the Kenyan coast, Diani. I want us to have a beachfront house where we can retire there and we can live life. This seems like, I don't know if it seems like love bombing or it seems like things are being rushed. Okay, to me, it didn't feel like things were being rushed because remember, this is someone I knew from before. It's not the first time I'm meeting him. This is someone I knew and this is very much his character. This is how he is. He loves to move forward once he knows what he wants. He's a man who knows what he wants. And so it didn't feel off to me. But the thing was, I had this deep unsettling feeling without me that, am I sure this is what I want? Am I sure I want to be married, living in another country or living in another town? And yes, it looks good. He's going to buy me a house. He's going to buy me a car. He's given me a ring. He's going to throw me the wedding I want. But is this really, really and then to make things even better, he's child-free and I did not, and I'm child-free as well. So I knew I was never going to get pressured to start making babies. This was literally kukafunga. And I kept thinking, should I do it? Should I do it? Should I do it? I tried to float this idea within my mom. My mom has always had a problem with me dating white-skinned people, which is crazy because most of the people I've dated this last 2-3 couple of years are white-skinned people. And my mom has always had beef. She says, you can never trust people who are not of your kind, blah, 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 blah. So I already knew what she was going to say. Floating this idea, I saw where the direction was headed, but then I decided to sit with it for myself to just see how things unravel. In this time, he had to travel back to his hometown in Sicily to figure out stuff, family stuff. and I was left in Nairobi. And for that month, I was able to breathe. I could finally go places without having to report where I was. I could do things. I had started to feel like he was my dad. In the beginning, he was my lover, but now it felt a bit controlling. I had to check in, tell him everything. All my plans revolved around if he was going to finance them. It just felt like this was not my personality. You see, when you're on the other side of the coin, it seems very enticing. It seems like that's the life I want. I want a man who does everything, pays for everything, does everything. But when you're actually in such a relationship, you realize that it's not what it's cut out to be, especially if you're a very independent woman who wants to have her own stuff and her own successes and accolades. Something just didn't feel right. And I was starting to shift my mind from, do I really, I really want a man who takes care of me, but then do I really want a man who takes care of me like this? It was starting to feel about a bit more controlling than it was love. And he's looking for property in Sicily, he's looking for property in Diani. Mi niko tu hapa naanza kufikiria, I might actually be a wife by December. I might actually be a wife. This was in May. I might actually be a wife by December. Crazy. The relationship goes on, and while he's in Sicily, I decide I need to be honest with myself. I need to realize that this is not the life that I want. This is not what I'm cut out for. And if we're being honest, I can't settle for this. I can't be the kind of person who is okay with being controlled, especially financially. And I decided that I was going to break up with him. I don't like how I handled the breakup because I just started distancing myself. He'd want to see me and I tell him I wasn't available, which is true. I was actually working. I was busy working, but then I couldn't make time for him anymore because time for him meant it was all I did. I was always with him 24/7. And that's how I know relationship ikifika point, nasema I was busy, I didn't see, I was out of town, sikuona simu, sikusikia simu, sikuona, sikukumbuka, I forgot. I know because I've done that to someone before. So when someone does that to me, I know the relationship is over. It's time to start moving on and living our own independent lives. I could have done better. I could have broken up with him better. His feelings were definitely hurt when I finally came clean and told him that I didn't think this was a relationship that I wanted to be in. He cried. We cried together. We had an honest conversation in the end. And yeah, later he did try to get back with me. He said he was ready to adjust and give me what I wanted instead. But I felt like that was going to be unfair, to make him have to completely forfeit what he wanted in a wife because I couldn't be that. I felt like he deserved exactly what he wanted, and I also deserved what I wanted. I'm not going to say what I want here because I've been meeting people who are pretending to be exactly that. So I want to meet people organically and make the judgment for myself if they're meeting the standards that I require to be in a relationship. So yeah, that was the last time someone proposed to me. Well, I kept the ring. I kept the ring because he told me that I could. And as he did all the other gifts that he told me, he was actually a very generous, kind, sweet, patient man. We just were not a fit. So many people, when I tell this story, so many people ask me, why did you leave him? You could have stayed and, acquired the property, blah, blah, blah. First of all, I wasn't at the place mentally to even think that way. And generally, I don't think I'm the kind of person who would take advantage of someone who's actually kind to me. If he was an evil man, maybe, but he treated me really well. And even post breakup, I was still able to reach out in case I needed anything. And that's the thing with dating upwards and dating people who really love me and treat me well. Most of my exes are still reliable to date. If I need anything, I can. I don't do it, but the kind of personalities that they have, if I needed something or if I needed them, they'd still show up for me 100%, no questions asked. That's something I appreciate about my dating lives. I wanted to talk about this proposal, the last proposal that I had, just because within that story in itself, I hope you can see some of the red flags. I don't want to outrightly tell you, Ati, when a man does this, you should see this. When a man does this, no, most of it has a lot to do with you knowing what you want for yourself so that when something is happening that is not for you, you're able to catch it fast and you're able to communicate effectively without shame and fear. so that you're not stuck. And yeah, right now, maybe I'd be in Italy or maybe I'd be in Diani with my own house. But was that something I was willing to sacrifice in that time? No. Maybe my mind could change later, but that's just it. In that moment, I don't feel bad about making the decisions that I made. I think it was more important for me to be authentic and honest and to not hurt anyone, myself or him, in this relationship. Well, of course, we ended up getting hurt, but it's fine. It was either that or me having to go through a divorce before I'm 30. So the lessons I learned from this relationship specifically is stand up for myself. Well, I don't know if I've learned how to stand up for myself. I'm still learning, but just know myself so well that I'm able to know exactly what I want and not settle for the things that I don't. I hope you've learned or picked up something from this episode about how I almost got married. And yeah, marriage has been on my mind of late. Kids have been on my mind of late. Maybe I will debunk this in a new episode, tell you exactly what I'm thinking about it. My last relationship, I actually for a second there thought something was gonna grow from it. That's why the abrupt ending threw me into immense heartbreak. But it's fine. I will be fine. I'm fine. I'm healing. Yeah, so think about it. Do you really, really, really want a man who gives you everything to the point that you have no autonomy? Or do you want an alternative? Think about it. Let me know in the comments. Let me know what feedback you have. Talk to me. I'd love to hear your experience and your thoughts. Please follow me everywhere on social media. My name is Roberta Bobby. And keep watching me on the Citizen TV show Daybreak every morning, Tuesdays, and on Dialogues with Jagero. I love, love, love the feedback. Toodles.